Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Escapades, where we look at FPL assets for one final time this season. With Game Week 8 just around the corner and an amazing season that just went by, it's been great creating content for the FPL community. We've grown from, I think, zero followers to approximately 1,500 on Twitter now, and we have some 100 odd subscribers on YouTube. So that feels really, really great, and it's pretty awesome to be able to give back something to the community. And yeah, and keeping the spirit alive, boys, welcome back for one final time for the game week preview. Definitely we're going to meet in the review, but yeah, Akshay, what do you feel, man? Does it feel surreal that it's game week 38 already?
I mean, yeah, I was just talking to Anand yesterday. So we've actually put out 38 previews on the trot. Haven't missed a single game week. So kudos to all of us for doing that and keeping the pace. But according to the season, I think it's been a roller coaster because of how the schedule and everything has gone. And despite all that, despite all the challenges, I think we have done really well to put out the content. And although the quality of that will obviously improve going forward, but even if our messages remind people of the deadline, I think we are doing a good job for the community. So yeah, just rolling it back and looking. I was just having a look at some of my teams in the initial game weeks, game week 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, it's been a great season for me personally because I was 262K in game week 28, and after last week, I am currently at 44K. So the season target that was top 10K, pretty close to that. Yep, really happy.
Absolutely, and yeah, kudos to you, man. And I think you and me both are like almost 44k away from our season targets. You at 10k, me 100k personally, having one of the best seasons of FPL outright so far. So that's I think it's all that we sit together week in week out and discuss the strategies. Anand, what are your feelings, man? I know you've been we've been trying to get a lot of things going with FPL Fiber side and game week reviews and previews as well, and you've been a great part of that. So, what are your feelings on completing one successful season?
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Just uh, like the camaraderie was great between all the boys, and we pulled off something which I never had a doubt about. To be really honest, I always thought that we could pull this off, but once the season started getting relentless and the deadlines were just 3 days, after the deadline of the previous game week, it did seem like uh, will it be wise to merge two episodes together or something like that? We did have some discussions, but yes, kudos to the boys, to everybody. Just kept, coming on and just delivering something that is something surreal, like you just said, and it's really great in terms of quantity. We have done well, and pretty sure that over the years, over in the next season, probably will improve on our quality as well. And honestly speaking, quality wise too, we were not bad, to be really honest. We were pretty good, honestly. But yes, there is scope of improvement. There's work in progress all the time. And yeah, like just feel really good. I mean, the rank's not so great. It's around 140 or 150k, but I'll take that because at the end of the day, what we provided to the community was something which was more for targets this season, and we have kind of achieved that. Like, really proud of you boys. Let's move on, boys. Yeah.
Absolutely, and yeah, definitely. I think like the game week 38 will be very critical for the top four finalization of positions. I think in our mini league, you, me, and Akshay are actually vying for that top three positions as well. I think Akshay is the far outright leader, so I think
Yeah, yeah.
we'll start with that. Akshay, a great game week 37 with the bench boost. How did it go?
Oh yeah, it was a great game week. I ended up with 79 points, and my game week rank was 22K. So Foden, Rudiger, and Nat Phillips coming up with a header and another header clear of the line to back the clean sheet as well. So those were some of the boys who actually backed the points for me, along with Ollie Watkins, obviously. So really happy to see green arrows yet again. And like I mentioned, I think I was 78K last week, and right now, sitting around 44K. So what's more important right now is the mini leagues that I'm battling for. So some of the mini leagues actually have something to win, and this current jersey that I'm wearing, this is the jersey that I won last year. So just some superstition there, and currently at the top of the mini league, which might end up see me winning another jersey next season. So fingers crossed, 8 points ahead of the guy at second. So yep, let's see what happens.
Great banner, definitely. And what a time to play bench boost with Foden, Rudiger, all returning points. And also Martinez again coming up with that clutch one save point, I think, with giving you three. And yeah, I was lucky as well. But definitely, I think great shout on Nat Phillips. I mean, I never did give it two thoughts about getting him in my team, but definitely he's somebody who's proven to be a great differential for you. And yeah, because of people like FPL assets like him, you've been pulling up now, I think, 25 points ahead of me in the mini league. So definitely worth catching. I hope some differentials go wrong for you. But yeah, that is just the hope. Let's see what happens. The game week for me also was not pretty bad, but not pretty great either. I ended up with 53 points, and thankfully, I mean, Mane, Lingard, and Bamford for a change did. I had him in my team when he returned, so that was a pretty good sight to behold. With their Trent also helping me with a clean sheet. Disappointed that United did not keep a clean sheet with Greenwood and Shaw. I know there was a lot of FOMO amongst ourselves as well, even with you, Akshay, that you did not have Greenwood, but definitely did not end up backfiring at you. So that was pretty good. That was pretty nice. But yeah, for me personally, I think that was a letdown with Shaw and Greenwood not performing. And also DCL. So yeah, I do have plans to not have him in my team anymore for the last game week. He's done enough, returned enough points. So I think 53 points, taking me up a small green arrow from 150 to 142K. And yeah, I think only 1 point short of Anand. And yeah, Anand, how was your game week, man? I think uh, that was pretty close.
Yeah, just like how the mini league is, I just got one more point than you in this game week. I just got 54. I was I was not happy, to be honest, because uh, I ended up bringing Greenwood, and because of the Pune league rumor about Greenwood not starting the match, I ended up benching him. But that was not the thing. I just thought that before this game week started, I was in two minds whether to go for Greenwood or to go for Iheanacho. And honestly, I wanted to get both of them in. But once the news regarding Greenwood was out, I was so skeptic about what should I do next. Like, that first transfer has already gone wrong. So I ended up just putting Greenwood on my bench. And yeah, it honestly, Greenwood played. Uh, Greenwood had a good match. He did have three chances in that match, like three really big chances. But then, sometimes your assets don't perform. So unlucky for you that he didn't perform. But yeah, luckily for me, I had him on my bench, but he didn't perform. But yeah, like if I could roll back time, and if I would have known that Greenwood is not playing like how Buna had tweeted that day, I would have gone for Iheanacho. I would have transferred out transferred out DCL and gotten Iheanacho, and that would have given me at least say 6 more points. So that was the thing, because I somehow knew that Kelechi would do something here. So that was a bit disappointing. I could have got 6 more, but yeah, 6 more is not such a big loss as well. But yeah, moving on to the next game week, and our star guy Akshay, he's leading the mini leagues, and Akshay, so what does your team look like, and what's your plan heading into game week 38?
Yeah, I think before we jump on to my team, just a shout out to you because you spoke about Bamford and talking about quality and what we offer to the community. So, if people paid some attention to what you were speaking last week about him delivering the goods just after he's taken off early in games, so he actually delivered, and another good game for Bamford up in store. So, personally, right now, I have DCL on my bench, and I don't see him starting against City, like for me at least. So the plan right now is either to ship him out for one of Bamford or Antonio. But Antonio is still a doubt for me because I have that cover with Lingard, and Bamford right now playing in front of the home fans at Ellen Road. So that's where my eye right now is, because I feel he's more explosive compared to Antonio. And also not really sure whether Foden's going to start another game, because he actually ran himself out in that game. City were down to 10 men, and Brighton, they were all over City. I mean, so good to see City being ran out of the park and Brighton doing all the passing for a change. So Graham Potter and Pep Guardiola, I think something happened after the game as well, where they were speaking something. So good to see teams taking City for a ride. But as far as FPL is concerned, I don't think Foden is going to start just before the Champions League game. So he might come off the bench, obviously, but him not getting a start put some doubt in my head whether or not I want to start him for my FPL team. So that's where the straight transfer from DCL to Bamford is in my mind right now. Yeah.
Maybe good points, Akshay, and that is a similar reason where I am also a little skeptical on getting assets from Chelsea, City, and United, because you never know who's going to start and who's not. Because
Yeah.
after this, there's only the finals that they need to play. But yeah, when you said about Foden, don't you be a sweet lamb and do me a favor and take a -4 or a -8 this game week?
I don't see a -4 or a -8 this game week, because we've already seen what happens with game week 38. There's a lot of rotation. There are goals in offer, obviously, but right now all I want to do is keep it safe and not go ballsy over too many hits right now. So just keeping it safe with one free transfer, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. And I think given the kind of fixtures that Bamford has with against West Brom at Eland Road, so that is might also play in your favor. Anand, what do you feel, man? The stat man, do you feel that Bamford is going to start or get substituted early or something like that in the final game week?
First of all, I'm no stat man, and I honestly, what I feel personally is that we guys discuss whatever we kind of show it on our previews, and sometimes it's me who end up saying certain things, but at the end of the day, the thought process is an amalgam of the discussions that we have had. So that's one. Secondly, I personally feel that DCL has a good fixture against City because Everton, they are eyeing up Europa spots, and provided if City plays with a weak squad, I feel with City playing a weak squad, DCL can score. This is what I feel. But yes, Bamford has the fixture with him. With Pereira out, there are rumors that Pereira might not be. So Bamford's playing West Brom, and there are rumors that Pereira might not be fit for that particular match. But yes, it's a touch and go. Sam Allardyce will take a call on the final day of the training session about whether he wants Pereira to start or not. So if Pereira doesn't start, then it's a huge blow, and probably it will benefit. It will benefit Leeds. But yeah, we've seen this season that Bamford, although he's done so good for me personally in my team, and even for everybody else who has got him, and he scored 17 goals and 11 assists this season. It's just incredible. At the start of the season, who would have thought that he would come up with 27 returns this season? That's just amazing, to be honest. Even the likes of Jimenez last year just had 24 returns. So he has surpassed the likes of Jimenez, what he did Jimenez last season. So I think Bamford has done really good for everybody else, and it does make sense to bring him in. But I personally feel that even DCL is somebody who can score against a weak City if, of course, City decides to field a weak squad. So that is what I feel. Anything to add on that, Akshay? And after that, we can probably move on to Kshatraj's plan for Game Week 38.
So right now, all I'm thinking is the defenders who I want to play, because I have Strike, and with Diego Llorente out, I think he might get a nod ahead of
Mhm.
maybe someone like a Berardi, because we saw Bielsa ringing the changes last game week, but I'm a little skeptical there. I don't see Strike starting, and even if he starts, not really sure whether Leeds might keep the clean sheet, because West Brom, they have been in a decent form in front of goal. So currently starting Rudiger, Trent, and Nat Phillips, and yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I also like. I'm pretty interested about the fact about how Anand you feel that DCL might have a strong game against a weaker City side, because I am completely on board with Akshay's analysis, and this is my bus team. You see, I do have DCL without doing any transfers. I also have Semedo on my bench, who thankfully you guys spoke me out of transferring him out in the last game week. Else I would be having only one free transfer. But thankfully I do have two. I'm pretty happy with my defense and my mid. It is just DCL and Semedo who I'm willing to replace and going all out on West Ham given their fixture against Southampton. So yeah, like Akshay said, he was in two minds between Bamford and Antonio. And since I already do own Bamford and do not have enough money for a really expensive striker, I decided to go with Antonio. I do understand that it is a double cover kind of a thing with Lingard and Antonio, but last game week was an example where we know that both of these guys can return in the same game. Cresswell again, not my favorite pick as of now, because I do not really want to invest in defense in the final game week, because there was a statistic that I was reading that an average season per game week we have like 2 goals or something like that, and on game week 38 it shoots up to 3.8 or something like that. So yeah, definitely I would want to invest in mid and forwards, but yeah, I think Antonio gets me a good cover instead of DCL, which I'm absolutely on board with Akshay's analogy. But yeah, I'm in two minds because I do have Dallas, Trent, and Shaw who can play. Semedo does play against United. I do not like that. So just that is, I do not even really mind playing Dallas, Trent, and Shaw, and just instead of getting in Cresswell for Semedo, I get rid of one of my keepers and thankfully did not get Fabianski, but I definitely target someone who has easier fixtures. And yeah, like Akshay, I was talking to him that Rudolph, if Fabianski remains injured, I don't mind getting him in because targeting fixtures. But yeah, that is my a theory of getting in. Thankfully have two free transfers, so definitely can either use it on a defender, four defender, play Cresswell over Shaw because of the good game week, or just instead leave Semedo on the bench and either replace Martinez or McCarthy out for a better keeper, say Mendy or somebody from maybe Scott Carson from City. You never know. But yeah, that is my. I'm pretty happy with the rest of my team. I've been pretty happy for a couple of weeks now, saving transfers, and yeah, hopefully targeting fixtures. When I look at my team, I really do feel happy that there are a lot of green fixtures that can be targeted and have a potential of returning points. So yeah, that is that. Akshay, what like I am pretty sure that you would agree on that DCL transfer to Antonio. What are your thoughts on specifically Semedo to Cresswell, or maybe getting in a keeper for the last game week?
I mean, the only question I would rather have is when you get in Antonio, who are you going to bench? Will it be Rafinha?
No, I'm going to bench Watkins.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense. But we know how Ollie Watkins has been dodging points,
Yeah,
dodging FPL points earlier, and right of late he's been actually attracting all those points and bonus points as well. So with Grealish coming back, we saw what Aston Villa can do, and they were a different side altogether. Although Grealish was unlucky with returns, but I think that brings out the best of Watkins. So him on the bench could be a pain, but overall, I think a decent option because we know what Antonio can do, and if you do get in Cresswell as well, you would probably have to bench Luke Shaw and Castagna. So that makes sense because with what Ollie mentioned yesterday in his presser, I think we could see a lot of rotation when he speaks about the likes of Shola Shoretire and Hannibal Mejbri getting some minutes. I think we are surely going to see a lot of rotation, and Luke Shaw could easily be replaced by Alex Telles. When you have that option, I think Shaw might be benched. So Cresswell coming in for you could be a decent option because we know how he delivers offset pieces and even dead balls. So yeah, I really like those two punts.
yeah, interesting that you pointed about Watkins and how he's been attracting all the FPL points. Anand, do you feel like you spoke about City not fielding their best side? Even Chelsea are in a similar dilemma where they play Champions League final. So I know we still have to talk about your transfers, which will be a plenty because I think you'll be on. I'm sure that you'll be on your wild card. But yeah, just a quick 2 cents about how do you think, because I know you do have Grealish, you've been targeting him since the return. So when we talk about assets like Watkins, who plays Chelsea, who in turn have to be in the top four race as well as have a team ready for the UCL finals. So, do you think Chelsea will have a mediocre team, or will they go all guns blazing and might make life difficult for the likes of Watkins?
Yeah, so just to begin with, I think Bamford and Antonio definitely are better picks than DCL for sure. But by saying that DCL would end up scoring, I didn't mean that he's a better pick than Antonio or Bamford. What I just felt was that he might be on the score sheet too. But yeah, coming back to the point regarding Cresswell, Antonio, I think yeah, good picks. With Cresswell, the good part is if you're bringing in Antonio, so there's a bit of chance that Antonio scores those headers, and probably the guy who will be assisting will be Cresswell in that scenario. And regarding Ollie Watkins, Akshay just mentioned that he's in hot form right now. In the last 10 matches or so, if you just see his streak, apart from that red card that he got against United, even in that match, he should have got an assist because there was clear contact. Okay, if that was not a penalty, at least it wasn't a red card, and it was a double game week for him, so he should have definitely played the next one. So yeah, he's on hot streak. This guy. Apart from that red card miss, he hasn't blanked in the last 7 or 8. That is the caliber this player has. Although what I've noticed something strange about Ollie Watkins is when the season started and I started owning him since game week 4 or 5. I don't exactly recall, but yeah, it was definitely either game week 4 or game week 5 onwards. Probably game week 4 onwards. I started owning him. And since then, it's been a long ride with Watkins in my team. And what I've noticed is during the start, he was really dominant with the ball at his feet. He was sort of a bully sort of a guy, but off late, he has been falling over a lot. If you touch him and all, he'll fall over. So that is something that is a bit irritating for me to be honest, because the kind of strength that this guy has, if he can just hold off his players and hold off the defenders and just start making those runs, I think he can probably be even more lethal. But anyway, that's something that I don't know why. Probably he has watched and learned from the other Premier League players this season about how to make a soft touch into a foul. Maybe like that. But yeah, overall, still in terms of quality, I think he has already shown it this season. Like Bamford, even he has done pretty well. He's scored 14 goals and given 9 assists. So that just shows that he's pretty creative as well. Unlike DCL, who scored plenty, who scored probably 16, 17 this season, but when it comes to assists, he's down to just 6. So in that scenario, I do feel Watkins is pretty creative, and it will be a big headache for you. And you know it pretty well. You benched Watkins last game week and he scored, so the opposition doesn't matter. And regarding Chelsea, Kshitij, there are rumors again that Kante might not play. And if Kante doesn't play, this Chelsea team, somehow just becomes mediocre. Kante is just, even if they play their best 11, and if Kante is not there, this Chelsea team is not the best Chelsea team, to be really honest. Kante just provides a different kind of a shield to this defensive unit.
Yeah.
So Chelsea facing Villa at home, I do feel that Villa may end up bagging goals in that match. It will be a difficult match, probably a draw. But yeah, it will not be easy for Chelsea. As we saw, it wasn't easy for Chelsea even against Leicester. So I don't think it's going to be an easy ride for them. And honestly, I do feel that Chelsea will play the strong 11, barring Kante, of course, because they don't want Kante to have an injury just before the Champions League final. But I think other than that, they should field a very strong 11. But they have two chances at the Champions League spot. Even if they end up losing their game week 38 match, and if they win the Champions League, they'll still qualify for the Premier. They'll still qualify for the Champions League next
That is a
season.
big
So
if, though.
yeah, just in case Chelsea wins, so 5 teams will then qualify for the Champions League. And of course, if Chelsea doesn't finish top 4 and they win the Champions League, so next season 5 teams will qualify for the Champions League. So Chelsea kind of have 2 shots at the Champions League, and maybe they'll field a strong 11 minus Kante, and then they'll go all strong against City. But yeah, let's see what happens. Honestly, without Kante, I don't fancy Chelsea a lot. Although you know they have underperformed their XG this season. They have overly underperformed their XG. So for sure they're creating chances, but they're not converting them. Thanks to Timo Werner for sure. I mean, he finds a way not to convert them. But yeah, that is what I feel. I think great pick, Kshitij. But yeah, this is what I feel about Chelsea. They'll feel a strong team, but minus Kante. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, continue, man. I think you're going great, and definitely we'd also love to know what are your thoughts about changing. What are you going to change from your current team playing the wild card in the last game week?
So I just made one change in the current team. If you can see, I already shipped out Castagna because Evans is out, and I feel Castagna will play as a centre back once again, and that is why I just blindly went with Robertson before his price could hike. I just felt that his price may hike, so I just brought him in, and I had one free transfer. So this was the initial thought. Honestly speaking, when I see my wildcard team, I'm not sorry. Yeah, when I see my normal team, I'm not disappointed at it. Maybe Fernandes, there's a worry about him, whether he's going to start or not. But he's a talisman, so he may start for sure. But I'm definitely happy about that. Also, sorry, not just Robertson. I also got in Iheanacho. If you can see, I shipped out DCL and I got in Iheanacho again for emotional reasons. Not looking at the fixture at all. And it's a very important match for both teams, even for Leicester and Spurs. So Spurs are out from the Champions League race, but then Spurs is still in for the Europa League race. So it's a big match, and I wouldn't mind if Kane scores, but if Kelechi scores too, I wouldn't mind that at all. But yeah, coming to now the plan that I have regarding wildcard. Um, well, so this is what I thought while playing wildcard. So there are some variables and there are some constants. So what is constant and what is variable? So probably I feel that Bamford, Salah, Alex, Alexander, and Dallas. I feel these four are pretty much constant. So by constant, I mean you'll find them in almost all the teams. So this is what I feel. And then because if you're playing wildcard and I'm at 140k and I have to take a wild swing to be honest. Like close your eyes and and how you try and hit a six, something like that. So yes, the players that I'm bringing in are definitely not the best players on paper, or in terms of statistics, or even in terms of eye test out there. There are definitely better players out there than these guys. But yeah, like I said, there are some constants. For example, Bamford, Salah, Dallas, and Martinez, which I had earlier. So I started removing all the constants. Like Bruno is also one of the constants. Even Watkins is one of the constants. So I started removing them, and I started getting in some variables which probably others wouldn't have. So one of them is Kelechi. Ailing is one, but I might not start him. I'll rather start Tierney, Alex, and Dallas. So Tierney will be one variable. Again, Super Emmy, I've removed him. What I'll do is probably I'll remove Foster and I'll keep Super Emmy and I'll get in another keeper. At the moment, I'm inclined towards Schmeichel, just because it's a very important match for very very important match for Leicester, and I don't have Kane or Son, so why not go with that? Plus, Michael is playing really well. In the past, we've seen that he's made some great saves. Even in the FA Cup final, he was just phenomenal, and he's a big game player. And I just feel that Michael can do something. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure whether I'll go with Michael or not, or whether I just retain Martinez. But the problem of retaining Martinez is that Martinez is a constant, and I wouldn't move up the ranks or anything if I, just to play Martinez. So yeah, Schmeichel is one, Ailing is another. Ailing is just for the bench, to be honest, just in case the likes of Tierney doesn't play. And even then, I think so far will be first on my bench and Ailing will be second on my bench. So I'll be starting with Dallas, Alex, Tierney, and keeper for now, for maybe Schmeichel for now. And in midfield, I've gotten your boy Mane, and I've also gotten Pepe, and I've gotten a bench fodder Smith Rowe So just in case uh, Grealish, Salah, Mane, or Pepe, if somebody doesn't start or even play the full match, then Smith Rowe will come in. And in strikers, I've removed Watkins and I've gotten Antonio. So now you can see that the guys that I've got in, almost all of them are variables, and Grealish was somebody that who was a variable, and I already had him, so there was no point in changing him. So the formation that I am thinking is Dallas, Alex, Tierney, three at the back, four in midfield, Grealish, Salah, Mane, and Pepe, and three up front, Bamford, Iheanacho, Antonio. Before the deadline, I might even remove Bamford and I might go for Rodrigo because Rodrigo is another variable. But yeah, like I said, it's not my dream team. It's not a team that I love or something. But yeah, I'm just trying to maximize as many players different from all the constant players who are there out there. So that's some sort of thought process. But definitely, if you have better variables in mind, then please let me know, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this looks good. I think uh, good. Yeah, this looks good, but I feel that you're willing to roll a lot of dices in the last game week. I
Absolutely.
just hope that in a bid to make it to 100k or below 100k, you do not end up, losing a lot of points, because I see a lot of Arsenal, a triple up on Arsenal when they're playing Brighton, and we know how Brighton, like Akshay said, gave City a run for their money, and Arsenal, man, it
Hmm.
is Arsenal. I mean, if they can do that to City, I don't know what they'll be able to do to Arsenal. So those are only
Yeah.
my concerns. And yeah, definitely, given that how many goals can be scored, are scored rather in the last game week, I think Schmeichel might not be the best pick uh, from a keeper perspective, because okay, I do agree that you don't have Kane or Son from that team, so you might push yourself for or wish for a clean sheet. That might make it easier, but yeah, those are my
Hmm.
concerns. I think a lot of Arsenal players and maybe Schmeichel. I think you're right. You might keep Emmy and get rid of Foster and get a cheaper keeper who has a better game. Those are my thoughts. Akshay, what do you think?
I think if you are looking for variables, I think Diogo Jota could easily be one, because there are huge talks about him being back for the last game out of nowhere, and we've seen how people have been lethal in taking him out of their teams. So Jota could be one of the assets, and yeah, the Arsenal boardroom would be really happy to see a triple up in an active FPL team for a change, because they paid 72 million for Nicolas Pepe only to make it into your wildcard team probably. And him in the last few game weeks, I think he scored in two in the last three. So in a
He
decent
scored.
run, in a
He
decent run.
scored three in the last two. Yeah.
Yeah, so in a decent run, in a decent form himself, but not. I'm not really sure about Arsenal delivering against Brighton, because Brighton are in a good form themselves. So I wouldn't personally bank my money on Arsenal, and I would rather maybe put my hat on a City team playing at home in front of their fans, going to lift the title after a disappointing game against Brighton. So Pep would want to maybe just come back, and I think Kevin De Bruyne could be another variable you're looking for, because he didn't come on in the last game, so maybe he gets some minutes here. Although he might come off early, given the Champions League final, which looms large ahead of Pep. But City versus Everton could be a high-scoring game, and that could give you a lot of upside when it comes to FPL. And
Hmm.
talking about the forwards, I think I really like that front three: Iheanacho, Antonio, and Bamford, because we've already spoken about Antonio and Bamford in detail. And Kelechi, he has actually put Leicester where they are right now, despite Vardy not delivering in front of goal. I think they have missed Madison for most of the season, and it's only because of Iheanacho's goals and some of the defense that has actually chipped in, because I don't think Leicester would have been in that spot without Iheanacho's goals. So really good there, and I personally don't understand why you're going for Schmeichel, because him against Spurs, we know how Harry Kane and Son are. They get one chance, and there goes your clean sheet. So maybe
Yeah.
just find a player, someone like a Kiko Casilla, maybe, because we know Melier is not going to play the last game, and
Why?
I think Bielsa made it clear that he's going to end the season with Kiko Casilla. So
Oh, okay.
that's a nailed on start for Kiko. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe take a punt on him in the last game week
Mm-hmm.
in front of his fans. Yeah,
And we know Bielsa does not lie, so
yeah, that
Yeah, that's
that
kind
helps
of
the
true
cause.
too.
But I'm pretty sure that the team that we see here compared to what we see after the deadline is over will be pretty
Yep,
different because
absolutely. It's going to be totally different. I'm really sure. But I personally really like the Salah Mane double up, and I think there's huge upside in that. And talking about upside, that brings me to the question: if you do end up having Salah and Mane, who would you end up captaining?
I've had Mane for a couple of game weeks already, wherein the first game week he did not do anything. And in the second game week, when I had him in my team, I captained Salah. So instead, I think his effective Salah's effective ownership was so high that if had I captained Mane, that would have been better, even if they would have given me similar points. But yeah, Mane did give an assist, but I did not captain him, so I ended up getting same points. So I'm definitely going for Salah. And like I see, irrespective of what Anand or whatever reason he'll come up with, oh, this is why I come up with Salah, I'm pretty sure that he's in double or triple minds between Salah, Mane, or some other person. Isn't it, Anand?
Yeah, 100% it is because like we were already saying about I'm going for the variables this game week. But again, what tilts toward what kinds of tilts me towards Salah is the fact that he's on 22 goals and he's eyeing the golden boot. So that is something that I have in my mind. And another thing that I have in my mind is in the reverse fixture, he came for just 15 odd minutes and he scored a brace and gave an assist. And I remember you had Salah in your team that game week.
Yeah.
So against Palace, he needed just 15 minutes
And
to do
coincidentally,
that.
that was the only game where I forgot to make transfers for a particular game. That
So imagine Salah playing 90 against Palace, and see with �𝗘𝗚𝗏 playing as a centre back, he is no centre back. We all know that. And Liverpool definitely needs to win. And Salah is the home merchant. Liverpool will be playing, and this is probably the first time this season. This is a proper home match for Liverpool because the fans will be back. And even if it's a 1:5 ratio capacity, whatever it is, but still having fans back will be huge. And Salah has delivered more, a lot of times in home fixtures. So yeah, at the moment I am towards Salah at least get the captain sorted and think about variables at other fronts. That is what I'm thinking right now.
I'm sure you're thinking about variables on the other front. But I'll again not be surprised if I see some random captain pick after the deadline. Akshay, what are your thoughts, man? I hope Salah is nailed on for you and you do not have to tinker about that anymore.
Yeah, I am personally absolutely not moving away from Salah. I mean, when you are in doubt about captaincy, keep it on Mo and him against Palace. I think they scored 7 against Palace in the last fixture. So that's where the thought about Diogo Jota also came in, because even if Jota is on the bench, he might do what Salah did in the reverse fixture of the bench. So Salah, Mane, and Jota, I think all three of them could see double-digit hauls, but it's about you being at the right end of those points. And from those three, I think the safest pick would ideally be Salah because he's on penalties. And the fact about the Golden Boot that Anand mentioned, I think this is the fourth season that Salah would achieve 200 plus points in FPL. So I think that's a great achievement for him yet again. And yeah, why would you want to go apart from Salah on a home fixture against Crystal Palace?
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely great points about how it's been 4 seasons that Salah has been performing back to back. But it definitely if you're throwing in your chips with going, kind of a differential team, like Anand said, what he's targeting, pinpointing good assets from teams which are not really say highly owned and are differential. So in that case, I think yeah, definitely you can go for Mane and Jota as well because, like you correctly pointed out, the reverse fixture was thrashing by Liverpool. And now, since Liverpool play at Anfield, and like Anand mentioned, after a really long time in front of their fans, definitely is going to get that blood pumping. And yeah, I think Salah right now seems like the legit choice. And yeah, it might seem like the legit choice before the deadline, but yeah, then again, Anand, it'll be great to see what you go ahead with in the last game week, man. And hopefully, like if you're like feeling yourself, maybe Aguero, he plays his last game for City, maybe.
You actually stole words right off from my mouth. I was just about to say, if you want to go differential. I mean, why not Aguero? Give him one last go in your team. I think he's back in training as well, so there is a lot of emotion in that. So if you want to go for emotion over head right now, Aguero would be my choice. Not for the captaincy, at least in a wildcard team, just to bring him in one last time because you don't have that opportunity anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, you can go for Iheanacho for emotional reasons, and you have different emotional reasons altogether for going for Aguero. So maybe that might be something to ponder on. Yeah, definitely. I'd really love to see your team after the deadline is over. I'm sure there'll be like some surprise picks which we are not aware or not talking about at the moment. But yeah, boys, it's been a pleasure. It's been 38 long game weeks, which did not seem to be really long. They seem to be coming in really fast and quickly for this um, season. Definitely great to be, football fans and United fans. A lot to look forward to from the last game week, and apart from that as well, when the Champions League finals and the Europa League finals are right around the corner as well. It's been great. It's been amazing talking to you guys over the course of 38 game weeks. A huge shout out to the Escapade boys, Suryansh, Amit, and Akshat for keeping up the review session live and running. And yeah, great picks from them as well. I'm really inclined to see who they tout for Champions League success when City face Chelsea basis on their review. And yeah, Anand and Akshay, it's been great, man. It's been great talking out to all of our supporters and listeners. It's been amazing. It's been a pleasure to bring out FPL related content for you guys throughout the season. We hope you've enjoyed as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Just a couple of friends, a group of friends rather, sitting and chatting about football, sometimes banter, sometimes statistics. And yeah, as always, it's been a pleasure. We've really enjoyed it. We hope you've enjoyed it as well. All of our social media handles are down in the description. Do give us a follow. It really means a lot. If you really like our content, do smash that like and subscribe button. Really helps us a lot as upcoming YouTube content creators. We hope you've enjoyed one final The Last Dance for Game Week preview from FPL Escapades. We hope you have had a great season. We hope to see you in the upcoming season when we do the preview for Game Week 1 or maybe before. We're still planning that out. FPL, play FPL responsibly. And as always, may the arrows be green. Cheers, boys.